I took the train for 17 hours. Yep. I had a
Wow.
sleeper car, so it wasn't too bad. It was very comfortable, but I did have a sleeper car and it was an overnight journey. So that was great. And I enjoyed it and it wasn't in a rush. But my longest run was back when they had this really complicated run from Miami up to New York. And I'd gone down to Miami because I was doing some consulting for a client who was setting up an office down there in Miami. And on my way back, I said, you know what? I don't have to rush home. I've got some time. I will take the train. However, because it was on the client's dime, the client was paying for that cost. I had a limited budget, so I had to be in coach. So it was 30 hours, Miami to New York City in coach, which was a rough experience a little bit, but it was at the end, it all worked out.
All right, cool. And what was your favorite Amtrak ride that you've taken?
That's a great one. I really liked the first class. And this was actually prior to COVID. I had two friends of mine. Shout out to Adam, who was with me on that ride. And yeah, we just, three of us were just having a fantastic time on the first class. So we actually paid. We just paid just to have a great experience and phenomenal food, unlimited drinks, unlimited snacks. And so we were going from New York to Boston and we just were having a blast, having drinks and just laughing. Great experience there with those guys.
Ah, that's very interesting. You mention Boston, as I believe Amtrak's biggest fan, Perry Kim, Purple Princess Perry, on Instagram, is, I think, Amtrak's biggest fan. It's a special to her as we're supposed to record a podcast episode in Boston later in April, and she's a fan of the show. And we're recording on April 2nd of 2025. This is the debut of the Netflix show Love on the Spectrum, season 3, and she is one of the cast members.
Yeah, shout out to Perry for her love of Amtrak. That's fantastic. I'm a pretty big fanboy myself, and I look forward to getting on Netflix to check out the show.
Yeah, absolutely. It is available on Netflix, the full season, not just one episode, 7 episodes of season 3.
Nice.
And she had mentioned that one of her favorite routes that she had not taken was the Coast Starlight route. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, so it's supposed to be one of the most scenic routes on the entire Amtrak map. So it's something I'd really like to check out at some point as well.
I'm seeing there are different segments. There's Seattle to Portland or San Francisco to Los Angeles. It could be a very long ride if you take the whole route, or you could just take segments.
Right. But I think the one thing you'd want to see is get some reviews from users that have already taken it that will tell you where the most beautiful sections are, the most scenic, the most picturesque sections.
I see here it's a long distance Amtrak train route that runs between Seattle, Washington, and Los Angeles, California. It covers about 1,377 miles and offers some of the most scenic train rides in the United States, passing through Washington State, Oregon, and California, along the Pacific coast, mountains, and forests. And on this Coast Starlight route, they have sleeper cars, an observation car, dining and cafe car, and business class as well.
Excellent. Nice. It's definitely worth checking out, and I hope to do it one day.
How do the different cars compare? Coach versus observation versus sleeper versus business?
Yeah, so if you're in a long distance run, like New York to Florida, for example, your train will have a sleeper car. If you're either really tall or you just find it difficult to get comfortable in like just a regular seat, even though Amtrak coach seats are much better than airline seats, they have way more width, there's way more space on the long runs, but at the same time, like, they only recline so far back. So if you have trouble sleeping and getting rest in a coach seat, you're going to want that sleeper. The observation cars are there for really scenic routes. I think they may do it as well. You mentioned the Coastal Starlight. There might be a couple other routes where they do that. Maybe somewhere closer to Arizona or like somewhere like out there where like the Grand Canyon and stuff is. There might be some other routes that have those observation cars where you can go to and it's basically almost entirely made of glass. So you have these like 360
Ah,
degree views of everything as you pass it, which is really interesting.